Hot takes. Somebody's hot take earlier was every parent has their favorite kid. When I was a kid growing up, my sister was the favorite kid. But it was weird because I was an only child till I was 10. By the time I was like 15, 16, I was I'd moved to Europe to play soccer after my dad died. So it wasn't like didn't really hang out that much. But I always felt like she was the favorite. And look at her now. She's a tramp. She had like a dozen kids. She is. I told her. It's a vagina, not a clown car. Stop having babies.
That is just brutal. Oh, my God.
I'll say it as it is. Ooh. My family will have nothing to do with her at all. My mother hasn't talked to her for years. She will talk to me once in a great while. I just check in. We like to check in just to make sure she's not doing anything she shouldn't be doing. Or when the police call and go, do you guys know who Amber Benson is? Like, never heard of her.
It was one of those deals where it was just too many second chances.
Oh, way too many. So I have 7 nieces and nephews that are my brother and sister. So the last 4, 3 of them, one is got microcephaly and a bit of autism. That's Coda Bear. Love him. Then there's my little brother, Elisha, he was just out here for a month and a half. Crazy.
Oh, that's the one I met.
He's nuts. I love him to death, but he's crazy. He's got defiant disorder. He is. And then my brother Spencer, who's in the wheelchair and is all this kind of stuff, and he's a hot mess. And my mother never forgave him for that. And then we've got another one that my sister didn't do anything with, and he's fine. And his name is Bubba Kenny. So, but the older ones are fine. But outside of that, hot mess. Charlie's different though. My Charlie's crazy. Damn, son. I know. Did you guys laugh at that? Come on, you guys know you did. You know you laughed at that. Man. Oh, Ray says a father of 4. It's true. It's, again, different. It's a different thing, And some kids, by the way, some kids are also that way. They've got their favorite parent that they go to, that they're closer with. Doesn't mean you don't love them.
Right.
It's just one of them you may be a lot closer to.
Yeah, when it comes time to read the will, one's going to get a little bit more than the other.
It's possible that happens. I can guarantee you my sister's getting nothing. Oh, Chad, that's not very nice. A lot of people chiming in on, because we did the top 30-ish songs of modern, really of all time. Of all time when it comes to TV themes. How was there no Gunsmoke? How was there no Bonanza? Everybody, even people, my son will laugh when he hears the Bonanza theme because he knows what it is. Remember when you were a kid watching it and then you started to realize, oh my God, the Ponderosa is the same size as California. You're on my land, are you? I have no idea. Our land is so big.
And I love how people always thought that the Ponderosa was like in Kansas or something. No, it was in Nevada.
Yeah, and parts of California. I laughed hard. If it's true, it's true. Yeah, well, it's true. So you became the favorite by always being there for them. Yeah. Again, parenting's a weird thing because Charlie is like, she's really in the mommy phase right now. And boom, that's it. Like she's in it. And her and I, but because we're the same, man, she will look right at me too. She's not afraid. She'll give me the look.
Couple of Dobermans staring each other down.
But you know what? I'm fine with that because in life, life's a little, sometimes you got to take the bull by the horns. Yeah. And sometimes, you get that bull, you're not very happy about it. The Ponderosa was a great buffet. I never ate there.
The Ponderosa buffet?
You never had Ponderosa?
I don't think we had it out in California like that. But
that was actually, what's his name that played Hoss was a big investor in that.
Dan Blocker.
Yeah.
Hoss. Freaking loved Hoss.
Hoss.
I think him and Nick Barkley should have fought. They should have merged those two shows and had Hoss and Nick Barkley go at it.
That'd have been a great little crossover.
Yeah.
Remember that in the 70s and 80s when they would do crossover television shows?
That's a big deal, man.
Like, hey, this week on Love Boat, Chips rides their motorcycles on to catch somebody. Like, yeah! Because that would happen. Watched Chips my entire life, and I never could figure out why have they never been on the freeway? Why are these guys doing stops off the freeway? That's not their job.
I remember watching an episode of Chips, and there was supposed to be a scene where there's this oncoming car that hits a parked car and flips over, and the ramp that they needed to use to get the car to flip actually falls out from behind the parked car, and they left it in the scene.
Well, and I mean, didn't they solved crimes?
They did. I remember the time, one of my favorite episodes, and I remember this, let's go back in the way back days, where they were solving crimes at the beach. Again, if you've ever been to California, nowhere near a freeway. In Santa Monica, again, nowhere near a freeway. And that was the jewel thieves who had those shoes that really were Heelys before Heelys, and they would steal the jewels and they would skate off.
That's right.
Never happens in real life.
Oh.
Ever. Dan Blocker was an episode of Three Stooges.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to look that up.
He used to have a farm here in Franklin.
Awesome.
And the later episode of the Stooges, when it was instead of Moe, Larry, and Curly, it was Steve,
Shemp.
Bob, and Fred.
Oh,
Curly Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one fat guy who took over for Curly, Moe didn't like him because he did not want to actually be hit. Whereas Curly and Shemp and Larry, I mean, they knew how to hit each other. But this guy, he didn't like that.
No.
His name was Joe.
You gotta, sometimes you gotta get into it. Right? That's
man.
part of the fun.
Yeah, that was the Three Stooges' genius, was slapping each other.
That was, well, because back then physical comedy worked.
It did.
It's hard today to do physical comedy. Although I haven't seen the latest Naked Gun, but I heard there's some good physical comedy in that.
Well, and they came out of vaudeville, too, so there wasn't like they had a lot of, they weren't using stuntmen in vaudeville.
No. Like, who was the guy that used to do all of the stunts? Was it that he'd hold on to the up in the air, he'd hold on to the clock, and he would have the house fall, and he would stand there, and it would, he would go through the window. I forgot, but there was something, like you said, they didn't have stunt guys. Yeah. There was none of that stuff. It was back in the day when they would make 12 movies in a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
They would totally do that. Some of you chiming in about yesterday. Look, everybody, I'm not down on Trump. I think Trump did a great job. He met with the Pooter. Nobody meets. You can't have a conversation to end a war when the antagonist is not involved in the conversation. I don't know how easy. And that was great that he did that. And like I said, he didn't really roll out the red carpet. It's Alaska. There's only so much red carpet there. It's not like he brought him to New York or, hey, come down to Mar-a-Lago. It's going to be fun. So, this, like, he got played. He didn't. But the reality is, until you get those two cats in a room, I don't think anything's going to happen. One of the things I heard, somebody's like, who are your sources? I'm like, let me tell you how sources work. Does anybody know how sources work? You don't tell your sources that Putin will never, ever, unless they're absolutely going to, he didn't even think they'll ever be in the same room together. And Putin, the number one thing is he either wants him to have an election, and the reason he wants him to have an election, because Putin knows that the power of persuasion that he would have to sway that election in Ukraine, to put in some sort of puppet regime, is what he wants. And so that would be interesting. But I don't think they'll even be in the same room. If Trump got those two guys in the same room, even if nothing happened, give them the Nobel Peace Prize there. Even if they started to attack each other. But he doesn't want to be anywhere near him. It's an odd thing, right? Like, what did he do? Did he do something? I feel like he did something to you. Like, it's personal. Like he stole your lunch money or you stole your girlfriend. So, but I think, but what came out of it yesterday was they'll meet again, but until the final two can stand there inside of a room, and I think everybody wants, the Camp David Accords or something like that. I just don't think we're going to get that out of these guys, which is going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. And Putin's got no reason to stop, guys. None. And that's not some sort of wacky hot take. That's just reality. I mean, Ken and I have been talking about this for weeks. Dude doesn't care about lives, and that includes his own people. They're just a statistic. He isn't going to all those funerals. He's not welcoming home what's left of somebody's body parts after they've been blown to smithereens. No. So he doesn't care. And so he'll continue to throw everything he needs at it until he thinks he's eaten enough, right? He's satiated his appetite, and then maybe. But we have no power over him to persuade him whatsoever, unless there's some magical way that we found some sort of diamond mind or something like that he would want a piece of that he's willing to give up.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to involve minerals, something like that.
Yeah.
That would even, bring him close to being possibly in the same room with Zelensky.
And I don't even know if they could do that. Really. I mean, I don't. He wants him so bad to hold an election because he thinks he can sway it. And that's what he wants. He wants a vassal state. He wants somebody in there that he can put in control, like he's done Belarus and some of these other countries. And yeah, getting in the same room with them, that would be a miracle itself.
And Putin is just like Xi. They know Trump's out in 3 years.
Yeah.
They're just going to wait it out.
Wait it out.
I mean, because these two are dictators. They don't go anywhere.
They don't. You're right. They don't. They're not. They go to the places they're welcomed. They may go to China or to Russia.
Yeah.
Maybe and even then, I mean, it's very rare. Maybe they would fly to North Korea, and that's a maybe because they don't want to be on planes. They don't want to be on any of these things. They recognize that they live by the sword, they die by the sword.
Yes.
Xi's a little different. He's willing to go. Less probably pot shots at him, but even then, he's gotten to the point where he's not a big traveler anymore. So, like you said, and Trump's out in 3 years. And they also recognize not only is Trump out in 3 years, but should things not go the way that Trump and everybody hopes they do next year in the midterms, Trump is essentially tied up for the last 2 years with investigation after investigation, potential, another opportunity to go and impeach him.
Yeah, the Democrats get the House. That is exactly what is going to go down.
Yeah. That's going to be an interesting thing. Very, very, very interesting. Hot Take Tuesday. We do hot takes here because that's what we do. My hot take of the day, and several of you have agreed with me, which I'm surprised, although one of you has called me a socialist, is I don't like sweet tea. Now, I like my tea sweet, but I want to do it. To think one size fits all with sweet tea is fooling yourself. For Bell, what is your hot take, Bell?
Cats are better than dogs.
Cats are better than dogs. And my good friend in there, Ken, what's your hot take?
Steak sauce is the crutch of the culinary insecure.
Lordy, it is. It is indeed. We've been talking about the fact that if you're using steak sauce, there is a very good chance you have either ruined it or it was never really a good piece to begin with. You've overcooked it, or it's liver, right? Liver, no matter how good you cook liver, you know what it is? Liver.
It's liver. It's what toxins in the body have gone through.
Yeah, it's liver.
Although I have liked fried livers before.
Really?
Yeah.
As a kid growing up. This is another reason.
My mom has been known to, when we're out to eat, order a plate of fried livers and a cup of coffee.
Wow. That is...
Chicken livers.
Yeah. We were poor growing up, and we used to get the government cheese, which, by the way, government cheese, just to let you guys know, no matter how hard you tried to make that thing a grilled cheese, it was never a grilled cheese. It never melted. I don't think it was supposed to melt, but apparently it was consumable.
Yeah,
but she would get liver because it was cheap, and we had liver like 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
It is gross. It's like eating the tongue of your shoe. Just putting that out there. All right, coming up.
I'd definitely put steak sauce on my liver.
Yeah, I would put steak. I would just drink the steak sauce. Coming up, we'll have it's Hot Take Tuesday. We'll give you some more of our hot takes. We've also got the words, baby, the words. We got new words putting in the old dictionary. Talk a little bit about that as well. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Got the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. What happened? Who got stabbed? What was
Park
that?
ranger got attacked.
By a bear?
It says it got stabbed unless that bear is carrying a knife.
What if it was one of those bears, one of those kind of like hoodlum bears, like Yogi? Because I always
Could
thought
be.
Yogi should have had a weapon. He feels like a soprano. How'd you get the picnic basket? He shot him.
Yeah, in this day and age, if Yogi was a bear, they would just have him killed.
They would. Put him to sleep. Can't be around people.
I'd have taken him fishing. Remember how Tony would invite everybody out on his boat?
Yeah.
You knew that you knew you were done for then.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not going fit. Hey, would you like to? No, Tony, I'm not good at fishing.
No.
I appreciate that.
I don't want to.
Absolutely. 100%. Appreciate that. Appreciate you looking out for me. I like leisuring, and that includes not dying on your boat. We've got new words, kids, added to the dictionary. Internet culture is changing the English language, says Colin McIntosh, lexical program manager at Cambridge Dictionary. Skibbity, which has a different meaning, such as cool or bad, can be used.
Skibbity.
Yeah, skibbity toilet. It's kind of a big thing the kids use, meaning it was a joke. It was coined by a creator of a viral animated video series, Skibbity Toilet. If you don't have kids that are younger, you probably won't recognize it, but
That's creepy.
it is creepy. You never seen the Skibbity.
Goodness.
Gen Alpha. New dictionary edition, referring to people born in the 2010s. Delulu. It's a play on delusional. We've used that on our urban word of the day. Our good buddy Brad Palumbo uses a lot. He always tells everybody Delulu. Luke. L-E-W-K, a play on the word look. Apparently, it's a big thing on the fashion shows. Tradwife, we've talked about that. That's basically, it's a stay-at-home wife, traditional. That's what you just call your mom, but now they have to have a name for it. Broligarchy. This one's interesting. Look at Bell's all, what? What? It's a blend of bro and oligarchy, meaning a small group of men, especially men, owning or involved in a technology business who are extremely rich and powerful and who have or want political influence. So Zuckerberg, Musk, they're part of the bro oligarchy. I could get that. I get behind that. I understand that. We got a little bit of that going on. Inspo for inspiration. Why can't you just say inspiration?
It takes up another second.
Yeah, too many syllables.
You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. When I love somebody.
All right,
Always on
there's
my
Satara.
You're the meaning of my life. You're the inspo.
When I love somebody, always. No one needs you more than I. Delulu. Skibbity seems to be the big one.
Skibbity.
Skibbity. Did you look up Skibbity toilet?
Yep.
Skibbity? He pops his head out of the toilet.
Yeah,
Skibbity.
that's a creepy looking dude, man.
The first time the word was used was in 2018 with a band. Little Big released a track called Skibbity. The music video has been viewed over 700 million times, and there's a dance that went with it that made it viral.
Wow.
Reality TV star Kim Kardashian revealed her familiarity with the phrase when she posted a video on Instagram showing a necklace engraved with Skibbity toilet.
Interesting.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? Like, there's that.
700 million views.
That is crazy how many million views that is. That is double our population in the United States. Think about everybody seeing a video that you've done twice. 2 times.
That'll get you some sponsorship.
That will. You got anything other than, I don't, I got to guess come up with something? So they added a ton of new words, over 6,000 words. But these are kind of the ones every day. And, they're going to continue to add more because, we do our urban word here, but this stuff, it pops up all the time. They're coming up with new stuff. Gassing, right? That's when you add little juice to somebody that doesn't even really need the juice. Man, I'm gassing him up. Bell's doing his thing. He's the best at this. That's gassing. All right, there you go, kids.
That or gaslighting, one of the two.
That's another little thing as well. Coming up, a little bit more on what's going on in the world of politics. By the way, if you haven't heard the story out of Nevada. It is a weird story of a sex sting where one of the guys got to go home to another country, and people are asking questions. Why is that? We'll discuss that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Several of you are still chiming in on the magical world of TV theme songs. A lot of Welcome Back, Kotter. I like that. Welcome back.
Yeah, that charted.
Did?
Yeah.
That's a good song. It's a good song. Man, you look at shows in the 70s, you're like, ooh, how's it? Ain't we lucky we got them good times? There was not a lot of good times there. Ain't we lucky we got
Especially when James got shot.
Yeah, James got shot. Remember that? Black Jesus, Black Santa Claus, the gangs, Michael, he became militant. And then, of course, you had that young girl next door who ended up becoming the biggest star of them all.
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. But it's when you watch that show, it's like anything in New York. Like even when you watch Welcome Back, the opening of Welcome Back, Kotter. And I think Chicago, right, is where Good Times was.
Yeah, Chicago.
Cabrini Green, don't go there. That's also where the Candyman was. But it was just, everything always looked grimy and dirty, right? Didn't it? Like when you watch the opening of Hill Street Blues, it never looked like there was ever a summer. It was just always gloomy, cold.
Overcast and depressing.
Just a horrible thing indeed. So somebody just texted in about gerrymandering, redistricting, because tomorrow they're going to vote on it in Texas. They're going to get it done. I am not a fan. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. And the reason is simple. Both sides do it, but it takes out any real need for them to do anything actually real. Oh, they may do some stuff here or there. They may have an agenda and feel like they have a mandate, and they may do some, even now. Think about it. A vast majority of what Trump has done has been executive orders. How much have they really codified? And the one big thing they done, I don't think it was that great. I think the big, beautiful bill missed in a lot of different ways. I think the middle class should have had a way more of a tax cut. And I don't think the wealthy needed a tax cut. But for the most part, Trump has done everything. And without him, they don't get anything done. They're like, yeah, you do it. You do it. I want politicians to work for us. And when you gerrymander and you draw it up, it's where you can't lose. And it's funny because you would think, think about this for a second. And this is Greg Abbott yesterday talking about it. He doesn't even pretend for a moment, to think that these 5 seats aren't going to go to Republicans.
Most of Americans were unaware how these blue states had gerrymandered their states so much. It's so ironic that these Texas Democrat House members went to Illinois, which is one of the most gerrymandered states in the entire country. And when you look at California, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, they've squeezed out all Republicans they can possibly squeeze out. What Texas is doing, we're just drawing fair maps as allowed by law, and it will ensure that at least 5 more members of Republicans will be serving in the United States Congress. Let me add to what you showed on the agenda earlier, because the Democrats did return to the Texas Capitol, to the state of Texas this morning, and then hours later, the House committee already passed those maps out. And those congressional maps are going to pass out on the House floor on Wednesday. They've already passed out of the Senate. They will become law probably by the end of this week.
And so it doesn't matter who he is, even if that person's just useless. Gerrymandering, California does it. I remember, and I remember Nancy Pelosi even talking about with AOC, not talking to her because she's not a fan. She said she was at a, I'm trying to think of what it was. It was some sort of, like a TED Talky kind of thing where they're all sitting around round table. And she had a glass of water. And she says, let me tell you how this really works. See this glass of water? If it ran in her district with a D by its name, it would be the winner. That is not how, whether you're right or left, you want your politics going. You want the people that are supposed to be working for us. They're picking us. We should be able to pick them. We should hold them responsible. And you know, we are all living now, for the most part, in, I think there's maybe, Arizona's probably the only purplish state that's out there. Arizona. Outside of that, I said today, because I was talking to Chris and he said, you know, he tried to come at me, bro. He wants to have Blackburn. I said, are you going to? He goes, why would she come on? I said, he goes, you're right. I said, she's never going to debate. She doesn't have to. Think about that. She could stay in Washington, Marsha, until Election Day. And she's going to win. John Rose can push, and he may be able to close the gap a little bit. But for the most part, she's so far ahead. She got name recognition. She got money. And the Democrats, who are they running? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Maybe a person in Memphis, I'm hearing, that maybe one or two, but still no name recognition. Whether I want our people that are going to be working for us, whether it's at the governor level, whether it is the local level, or even, yes, the federal level. We're sending people to D.C. to have to work for the vote and be held accountable for some things. And we shouldn't expect perfection. But if they just go and just say, all right, here, there's this. We might as well just say, look, everybody gets the same amount, Republicans and Democrats, and we're all sending them there, so it's all even. And we go from there. Well, that wouldn't be good. They're just picking. You don't want, and for those of you Republicans and who want, well, we're fighting fire with fire. Yeah, it's not good when the left does it or the right. It isn't. I mean, we talk about Massachusetts. Massachusetts thinks, well, how can we redraw districts? Redraw districts, you have no Republicans representing you anywhere. You have 5 at the local level, none at the state level, none at the federal level. You've got nothing. What are you going to do? We want them to work for us. That should be like the goal. Like, hey, what are you going to do for us, right? We're sending you to D.C. We're sending you to state capital, wherever it is. What are you going to do for us? How are you going to work it for us? And if you don't do a job that's right, we'd like to be able to hold you accountable. But you recognize it takes a lot to lose. The only time that people lose now, something has to go horrifically wrong. I mean, it's got to be bad. Or demographics shift. People move in, people move out. Right? Like California's lost some because people move out. I mean, that's the only time you see any kind of change. But even then, it's usually just you're losing a seat or you're adding a seat. It's not like anything real's happening. And I want there to be people working for our votes. Maybe you guys don't, but I do. I mean, it's like if somebody took you out and on one date and you fell in love and they knew that you were never going to leave and they could treat you however they want, you were always going to stay with them, what do you think those people would do? Mm-hmm. They're going to treat you how they want to treat you. And it's the same thing here. The fact that now the only thing that matters is the primaries and getting through that. And even then, the parties are going to pick really and throw their might behind one person. So whether California is coming up, and by the way, California, that's going to be a stretch for him. Because even in California, a vast majority of Californians left or right are like, yeah, we don't want you to redistrict now. This is stupid. And, he wants it bad when he's not memeing because that's all he does now. And we'll see what DeSantis and them do. And I think Indiana's going to do something as well. It's going to be interesting, no doubt about that. Yesterday, Donald Trump wants to get rid of mail-in ballots.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night.
It's funny that he said, you know, we're pretty much the only country that does it. And as he's saying that, by the way, the Germans, the French, the Canadians, a lot of countries do it. Our issue here, and I was telling, one of the real reasons we have issues with how long it takes is a lot of places, because there is a division, the closer you are, automatic recount. So there's one of the things that happens. Automatic. It's written in. If you're within like 2 percentage points or whatever, it's an automatic recount. The second thing is we vote on everything. Everything from bonds to this, to that, you know, to the Third General Assembly DA for the, you know, Dog Catcher Society of America, where if you got your ballot, sometimes you're like, who's this? Because at the end, you're doing like you did in school when you only got 30 seconds left. You're just writing C, 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 C. Am I right?
I remember doing that sometimes, yes.
See, oh my gosh, you feeling nervous? Like, you don't know who some of these people are. You go to other countries, you know what they have? They have like one page right here. Here's what you get to choose from. You don't get to do that. You're sending those people to do some of the other stuff. So that's one of the issues.
And the smaller the race, the less people bother to educate themselves on it.
Very true. I mean, that's so true. Because we get a vote on, you know, everything. It depends on where you're in the country, or the city or the county. There's so much stuff you get to vote on. Judges, sheriffs, you know, all of this. It's crazy. If you want to get rid of mail-in ballots, well, first of all, that's let the states handle their own thing. That's the beauty. That's one of the reasons why we are so hard to hack on a nationwide level. It just can't happen because every county, municipality, state, they all have their own thing. It makes it hard. There's not one uniformity to it. But if you're going to have it, make it a legal holiday, right? So you make a legal holiday like a Friday, and then you'll have till, you know, Saturday at noon to turn everything in, and then by Sunday night, you roll out with all the results. There you go. Problem solved. You know, everybody's like, well, China can get it done. Yeah, China can get it done. It's Xi or nobody.
And if you pick nobody, you go to a gulag.
You got to find out what the Uyghurs are doing. So how hard would that be? Do you think they're voting on bonds? Do you think we should have high-speed rail? I don't know about that. Oh, my Lord. One day voting for paper ballots. That's what a lot of people say. I'm okay with, again, if you want to do those things, you're going to have to understand because of our freedoms, because we allow us to participate, the beauty of this great experiment is we participate in voting at times even our own stupidity. Where we vote things in that afterwards we're like, that probably wasn't good. So, and we have a lot, and we vote on everything. Your mailman, who's your favorite mailman? This guy, that guy. So we're going to have to figure it out if we're going to do it. The mail-in ballots, everybody's like, well, they could cheat. Oh, well, prove all of that stuff. You should be able to easily prove it. Go ahead and prove all that stuff. But don't say we're the only ones when we're not even close to being the only ones. But if you want stuff done the same day, you're going to have to break it up into one day of absolute pure counting. You cut down the number of things that can be run on certain ballots and go from there. Because having 3-page ballot is insane. It's insane. All right, coming up, a little This Day in History. We're also got our hot takes. Got a lot of hot takes going on today. Let us know what your hot take is. We've got some interesting ones out there. And we're all still talking about TV themes. Welcome Back, Cotter's getting a lot of love. Welcome back. That was a great song. That was an absolutely great song. You're missing the show. Shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997. Are you kidding me? Brett keeps sending us this radioactive. I had no idea it was radioactive. Did you think it was that wasp or whatever it was? Do you think they were doing
radioactive wasp?
You dagnabbit.
Now that sting would pack a punch.
That would. That would be like if you ever wanted to be wasp person, this would be it. Wasp guy, wasp man, wasp, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
There you go.
Said it was a wasp was. That is crazy. What are you doing? This is why I don't eat anything that's. First of all, shrimp is it's sea fleas.
Sea fleas.
Right? Same thing with lobster. If you came home and a lobster was on your wall, you'd be like, we need to move.
Well, yeah, that's actually very true because they're not that good at climbing up walls outside of water.
And by the way,
so I think it was paranormal.
Whenever I watch anybody eat lobster, my entire takeaway is you're only eating lobster to justify the fact that you want to drink a gallon of butter. That's it.
I don't need to justify when I drink a gallon.
I know you don't. You're a different character. That's why we love you. That's why we love you. But lobster used to be back in the day. It was, that's poor people's food. It's lobster. Now it's like surf and turf. Somebody told me earlier I should put mustard on liver because we're talking about liver. How about I don't ever eat liver again? There's always that.
I prefer that answer.
It's a good one. I don't care what kind of mustard you think you have, unless that mustard happens to be a hamburger that's not liver. Liver's gross.
You know what? I'm going to try that.
You're never going to eat liver.
Oh, yeah, I will.
When?
I'll eat some chicken livers. Next time I go to a restaurant where they offer it, I'll have some and dip it in some mustard, and I'll let you boys know.
Chicken livers, though.
Yeah, chicken livers.
Not doing cow liver?
No, I don't know. Do they do cow liver?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I ate liver.
Oh, I've just done chicken liver.
What I mean, it's like eating the tongue of a shoe.
Oh, you're talking about like just a big liver on the plate.
Yes.
Oh,
like they just took the liver out and handed it to you and go, why don't you eat this? Why don't I not eat that?
No, sir.
No.
No. Mine's going to have to be fried.
Butterbell, that's what they're calling you now. Paranormal Lobsters. That's a good name for a band. We need more band names.
The Paranormal Lobsters.
Yeah. We could do? B-52s. We could play right after them. They'll open up with rock lobsters. We'll go straight into Paranormal Lobster. What do you guys think of that? Coming up, hour number 3, a lot of stuff still to get to. If you're missing the show, we shame you. Shame, 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 shame. Chat Bed Show, Super Talk 997.
Shame.